doing, YouTube? Vidal SuperNinja welcoming you back. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts as we continue our quick dive into the near future of gaming, checking out some of the current and near future titles that are coming down the pipe. This video is part 2 of a multi-part series, so if you haven't checked out my first video, I highly suggest you take a look. It's got a lot of cool games that I definitely think are worth checking out. I'll leave a link in the description below. So without further ado, let's get this show started. Steel Assault. The game being developed by Xenovia Interactive following the launch and success of a Kickstarter campaign that launched all the way back in 2015. It was announced in November 2020 that Xenovia Interactive signed a publishing deal with Tribute Games and put together a launch window of 2021. Steel Assault is proudly drawing its inspiration from 16-bit era titles such as Castlevania Bloodlines, Contra Hard Corps, and Gunstar Heroes. My first thoughts on this gameplay footage gives me the impression that this game might be able to stack up with all those classics. This project initially started as a late 8-bit era NES style game. But after the successful launch of the Kickstarter campaign and the team started filling up its ranks, they started to lean more into the 16-bit era aesthetic, playing into the strengths of the team experience, having worked on Game Boy Advance titles and Nintendo DS games in the past. It was due to this dramatic change in the art style that the game got delayed from its original May 2016 release date. That all said, from what I'm seeing so far, this looks like it was the right choice. The current build looks like it's going to be incredible. The combat, shooting, zipline, and whipping mechanics look like they're going to be a lot of fun. And from what I saw from first-hand impressions, the game is shaping up to be pretty good. After a long and challenging development cycle, Steel Assault is finally available on the PC and Nintendo Switch. Go check it out and let me know what you guys think. Project Eve. From what we understand, this is a working title, and the game's still got a long way to go in development. I've been following the title for years now. I've got to say, it's good to see this coming together, as it's come a long way since the last time we've seen it. This is definitely looking like a true next-gen PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X title.
하늘에 계신 어머니시여, 저희는 지구를 지키지 못했습니다. 적들을 물리치고 인류를 구원하려는 신성한 의무를 다하지 못하였습니다. 하지만 이제 저희가 다시 내려와 남은 목숨 끝까지 바쳐 싸울 것을 맹세하오니 부디 저희의 죄를 사하여 주시고 저희를 거두어 주시고.
There aren't that many details regarding the story, but players are assuming the role of the character Eve, a super soldier deployed from a space colony to retake Earth from alien invaders. The visuals and action set pieces are the first thing that catch my eye. As a fan of Bayonetta, Devil May Cry, and Ninja Gaiden, I feel like I'm gonna have a blast playing this one if this is anything even close to those titles. Really loving this art style. Sadly, well before this game even hits its release date, I could already hear the righteous Puritans preaching from their soapboxes about the titular character's sex appeal.
Did you just say tits?
Oh yes I did, Joe from GameSack. Tits, ass, skin-tight suits, and some ridiculously fun camera angles to boot. This game is proudly celebrating its sex appeal, and will no doubt face criticisms and unfair scrutiny for it. But look, if I had to sit through Abby's fugly ass getting railed in The Last of Us 2, and then listen to those same folks praise that as high art in the years that followed, then you could let us have our hot over-the-top Korean waifu. No, it's not the most realistic. Yes, there is an emphasis on the over-the-top fantasy style. There's no reason that the two distinct styles can't coexist at the same time in the world's gaming sphere. There's room for everyone. Video games are expressions of art, and we should be celebrating our diversity in styles, not pitting them against each other for some sense of moral superiority. Most important of all, this looks like it's going to be fun, entertaining escapism that the world needs now more than ever. There isn't a release date and not many more details outside of what we've seen so far, but I'll definitely be keeping track of its updates and development going into the future. I hope it rocks and I'm looking forward to its continued development. Stay tuned for Project Eve.
당신이 왜 이곳에?
설마 이브, 저건 알파 네이티브야.
Eastward. Eastward is described as an adventure with RPG elements, being developed by a very small team at Pixpill Games, a studio coming out of Shanghai, China, using a game engine of the studio's own making. The team has credited games like Mother and the Legend of Zelda series, as well as some old-school Japanese animation styles, to create a heavily narrative-driven RPG with soft sci-fi elements. Taking place in the near future, society is collapsing and human population's at an all-time low. The world in shambles, you're playing the role of a hardworking miner named John, and a young mysterious girl named Sam. Together you travel through the lands by rail, fighting off all kinds of strange and unique enemies, and making new friends along the way. The first thing I have to address is just how beautiful this pixel art is. The world, the colors in it, and the animation styles are looking great, saluting the old school with a very clean modern polish. I can clearly see those early Zelda and Mother vibes here. And also from the few pieces I've heard of the music, the soundtrack is going to be extraordinary. This is sounding like it's going to be a chiptune masterpiece. This is all coming together to create a charming aesthetic. Honestly, I feel this one's going to be great. The trailers have left wonderful impressions on me. Eastward is now out on Steam and the Nintendo Switch.
We're surviving here. Rebuilding.
Surviving's not enough. We've got to fight.
No, we don't need to do it.
Back for Blood.
You saw written in any numbers.
A zombie shooter brought to you by Turtle Rock Studios. Made up of members who worked on the original Left 4 Dead. And that much is immediately apparent as Back 4 Blood aims to be a direct sequel or spiritual successor to the original Left 4 Dead games.
Hang in there, Holly. No rest for the wicked.
Let's go.
You're here. Come on. God, I love Mondays.
This is looking really cool. I had a lot of fun with the original Left 4 Dead games. So if this plays even half as good as those did, we're in for a great time. You can play the co-op features in these for hours, 4-player co-op being the main selling point of these games. As if that wasn't obvious enough from the title. Grab 3 of your friends and keep an eye out for this one on Halloween. Back 4 Blood is releasing on PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X on October 12, 2021.
Buckle up, buttercups.
We've got one shot. Let's make it count.
Over here! Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. This upcoming release is actually considered an enhanced remaster of the first 3 entries of the Super Monkey Ball series. I've been a fan of the series since the original GameCube release back in 2001, and I can honestly say that the first 2 entries are the best among the bunch. I'm very happy to see that these 2 games in particular were selected for the remaster and will give a chance for a new generation to enjoy them. Especially since it's becoming more and more difficult to find GameCube games at reasonable prices these days. Now, if you've never tried Super Monkey Ball, or you're looking at it and maybe rolling your eyes because of its childish presentation, don't. I truly believe you'd be selling yourself short if you didn't at the very least give this a try. This is a physics-based platformer, racer, party game hybrid that offers challenges to gamers of all experience levels. Definitely beginner friendly, but the later levels are gonna hand their ass to you if you don't gain precision and mastery of the controls. There'll be plenty of trial and error, but with each attempt you'll find yourself getting better and better, coming back for more. The game is packed with content. well over 300 stages, and plenty of characters and different modes to choose from, including some new additions and cameos from other Sega properties. Sonic and Tails are making an appearance, as well as Beat from Jet Set Radio. Now, I do have to criticize one announcement of this game. This will be a 4-player co-op game, but that feature is limited to local play only. There will be no online gameplay. I'm all for bringing back an emphasis on local multiplayer gaming, but in the age of COVID restrictions and just how difficult it's become to get some people together, I feel like this is an oversight and a missed opportunity. That being said, I'm still excited to try Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, dropping October 5th, 2021 on all major platforms and PC. This game's announcement at E3 was a huge surprise, most especially for longtime fans of the Metroid series. This is the first 2D Metroid on a mainline Nintendo console since Super Metroid was released back in 1994. And this is a direct sequel to Metroid Fusion, which came out on the Game Boy Advance back in 2002. I'm stoked to see Nintendo finally giving Metroid all the love and attention it deserves. This series is near and dear to me, and it warms my heart to know that we got Metroid Prime 4 coming someday, as well as Metroid Dread coming right around the corner. If you are unfamiliar with the Metroid games or just haven't had the chance to play them, I feel like now's as good a time as any to jump right in. At the very least, you should give Super Metroid a try. Granted, it's an older Super Nintendo game, but I think it's aged well and its significance to the gaming industry cannot be overstated. Super Metroid is one of the greatest video games ever made. And if you fancy yourself a true gamer, you owe it to yourself to give it at least one playthrough. From what we understand of the game's story, Metroid Dread takes place at the very end of the Metroid timeline, which is a story that has not been told in chronological order. This game takes place directly after Fusion and will be the first Metroid game to advance the story since 2002. The first true sequel and final chapter in the long-running Metroid saga, a story that has been running since 1986. It'll be really interesting to see how Nintendo closes the chapter on this long-running sci-fi epic. Though Nintendo has made it clear that this won't be the last time we see Samus and her adventures. I'm hoping the sales of Metroid Dread incentivizes Nintendo to re-release the original Metroid games in some fashion or another. Let's give the younger generation a chance to explore this beautiful franchise. Metroid Dread launches exclusively on the Nintendo Switch on October 8th, 2021. So what did you guys think? These are just some of the games that are coming down the road that have caught my attention. I'm curious to hear what you guys might think, so please leave some feedback in the comments below. Be sure to check out part 3 of this video, as I plan on covering a ton more games in this fashion. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like, share, subscribe, anything to help the channel out. For now, this is Vidal SuperNinja, signing out.